Hello Capricorn, I'm Ulrich, I'm a Lenormand card reader, and today we will do the philosophical financial card reading for the sign of Capricorn for the month of January. As always, we will do 4 card readings for the sign of Capricorn for the month of January, and these are based on the natural elements in your astrological chart, or for some of you on your time of birth. These basic elements are air, earth, water, and fire. Now, the 4 objects that you always see on my table are directly connected to those elements. So you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current situation. However, if the object and the related video does not match your first choice, please check the other videos that are immediately connected in the same session. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. Also, I want to add, if you have questions, you can always post them in the comments below. Anyway, the matches represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol spray represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Capricorn, here we go for your financial philosophical card reading for the month of January. Hello Capricorn, and welcome to the shell or the water group, excuse me, for your financial philosophical card reading for the month of January. As your first card here, we see the card of resilience. Here it means that we need to accept situations and see the benefits of whatever circumstances we are in. And here it's probably that you have in previous months or even years that you had some difficulties here, and now you are ready to bounce back here. This is what we are seeing here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you've been, but here this means that we progress here, but also it tells us we cannot stay passive. We cannot sublimate to our fate here, reversed. It is actually, we need to advance here. We need to advance for our actions here. We need to acknowledge certain life lessons and try to make the best out of it and keep progressing forward. Also, it tells us that we need to be careful with our money, that we cannot spend money that is not necessary. Here we see that we need to become aware from certain flaws that are in our financial side or in our character financially here. This is what we are seeing here. We need to turn these flaws and these weaknesses into advantages, but probably you learn to do so because we have some progress here in the card reading here. So don't focus on any kind or sort of bad luck here, but any obstacle that you must overcome here, you must see that as a lesson to bounce better back. That's why you have the card here of resilience. By applying this resilience, when certain difficulties in your life are calmed here, you see that these were important lessons in your life that brought you further. The next card that we see here is the card of accomplishments. What does this card tell us? Well, it tells us that certain efforts that you did in the past, probably you were holding out for something here. And here we see that our efforts are beginning to bring fruits. We see the results of our daily actions. Sometimes these results are simple, but here we see that the results are there. You probably work hard and you learn how to appreciate your modest victories. Of course, it doesn't mean that we are successful in relationship to the whole society, but here we should not compare ourselves to others also. We should rather highlight the positive transformations that we've been undergoing here and that we applied on ourselves. But this card is also the card of questions. Can you change more things in your life for improving more? This card asks you, how can you improve yourself? Are there certain things in your life that you can change for improving more? And are there things that you need to let go that are no longer working, that you need to modify? So here, it tells us also that we cannot be discouraged in the path that we currently are taking. Here, everybody has a different path in life. And here, this card sometimes also, it tells us that we need to write down certain accomplishments that we have in our life. It doesn't matter what, how big or how small that they were, these accomplishments here, but it's the changes that brought a lasting change on the long run and who made what made the difference in your personal eyes and in your life. You should write that down here and appreciate the progress that you made so far. And here this card tells us if we persevere, we will even improve more. The next card that we see here is probably a small correction that we need to make here, because here we see the value of small money. We all spend small amounts of money. These could be small coins, small bills that we are paying, and most of us pay little attention to small expense that we do. But here this card tells us to pay attention to small payments you make. We know that these small amounts, they mount up to a big amount at the end of the month. And even if an expense is not very big, at the end of the month, all these small amounts, they mount up to something big. Also, don't go in, this card tells us, to discounts here, because this depreciates actually your value of your money. Sometimes we consume things that we don't need to, and sometimes also with spending certain small amounts, it brings us some blindness in our financial clarity. We don't see things clear anymore, but we need to be aware that it takes a lot of coins or small bills to create 100 and forge that into thousands. We are aware of that. So this card wants you to be realistic about that, that each coin, each small bill that you have is of very great importance for improving further in your life. Also, you should ask yourself, if you are in a store and you see the things in your basket or in your cart there, what is really necessary? Ask yourself before you go to the cashier and look at your things and see what you really need. And you should make a distinction here, this card tells us, about the real necessities, and try to avoid what you don't really need if you want to improve in your life. These are also small amounts that we are spending, and it avoids us from overspending, and we can use this money for something on the long run, maybe something that we are planning in the future, because we know Capricorn always plans on the long run. Maybe you have something in your head that you want to plan for the long run, for evolving more in your life. Maybe you want to do some investments in your house or around your house here, and it's important that we save this money if we do so. Anyway, if we save these small amounts, we will soon accumulate hundreds, forging into thousands. So Capricorn, this is all for the water group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. You can also check the monthly Lenormand card readings for work, business, and money in specific, then related to your work. You can all find everything on my channel. Of course, it will take some of your time, but of course, we get a little bit wiser if we watch the videos. Anyway, Capricorn, I want to thank you for your time, and don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye for now. Hello Capricorn, and welcome to the Aerosol or the Air group for your philosophical financial card reading for the month of January. As your first card here, we see the card of financial education, financial lessons. This card applies on us. Probably we need to learn more about our finances here, but this applies especially to our children. Here this card asks you if you ever talk to your children about money. As every household, we have expenses in our household, and also near to you the money don't fall from the trees. So also this tells us that we need to learn ourselves and our children about money. Probably a good example from this of financial education towards to your children is you are in the mall with your children, for instance, and they bring some toy or some small electronic gadget to you, or some shoes or whatever, and they say, Mom, Dad, can I have this? But you say, no, it's not the good time now. And then you get the answer, why not? Your wallet is full of credit cards. This is what this card is about. This is about, this means that sometimes there is an issue that the children don't realize exactly the value of money. So here we need to learn our children the management of the finances. Of course, it's a utopia if you don't tell them, you don't teach them about money, that they can survive in this hyper-consuming worlds. You are the one who need to teach them and turn them into knowledgeable consumers here. So this card tells us to talk to your children about money, break the taboo. If you never talk about money, inform them, make them aware of healthy practices. This is what we are seeing here. By teaching them the good workings, the good foundation, the way money works, you will help them greatly in the rest of their life to come. The next card here is the card about a well-organized charity, and it starts by itself here. This is what we are seeing here, but also it means that we are probably very charitable, or that we give a lot to our loved ones, people around us. It's a little bit connected to the previous cards. Maybe we are a type that easily says yes here, but the question is, will your children love you less if you don't pamper them so much? Or will your nephews no longer, their eyes will no longer shine if you buy them a less expensive present? Here, this card wants us to realize that these small purchases or gifts that we are giving, they have an impact on our daily life and of course on our budget. Well-ordered charity, it starts by itself. It's a well-known proverb here. And when it comes to money, it's important here, because if your generosity would lead to certain difficulties or even problems, of course, it don't contributes to us. It has no place in our life here. So before we give or you give to others, secure your own future here, build up a safety cushion, keep your eggs in your basket here. This is what we are seeing here. Stimulate your own future rather than squandering surpluses to other ones. Be sure that the people close to you understand if you say no, because we know life is expensive. So know how to remove the essential from the unnecessary, and you will be able here to establish here a healthy generosity on the long run when it's the right time here. This is what we are seeing here. The last card here is the card of immediate satisfaction. This probably applies on ourselves. What does this card mean? Well, this card tells us that we live in a world of overconsumption. We are all aware of it. And the current society, it almost advocates instant satisfaction. And in order here to prove our finances, we need to be aware of the following, that happiness, it does not come with the purchase of a fleeting object. Sometimes we are in the store and we are looking for a feeling of fulfillment, maybe for a pair of shoes, a small electronic gadget, but as we are aware, this feeling don't last very long. This is not gonna give us satisfaction on the long run here. If you are honest to yourself, you know it doesn't last long. But society teaches us that in order to be happy, we must consume more and more. If we follow TV commercials, it's unthinkable that we would be fulfilled without having the latest fashion, without having the dream electronics. And of course, we need to add the car of the year, and we work harder and harder. And in order to constantly obtain this feeling of satisfaction, we buy more and more. So this card tells us here to take some distance of that. Here we need to take distance of these small pleasures, these desires that lead to nowhere. This card tells you to take some distance, be aware that this is a nefast trend. Maybe you need to save for something else. Maybe you need to save for your children, their education. You need to keep your eggs in your basket here. This is what we are seeing here. Don't spend what you actually need. Just be aware between the difference between the things that are really essential and unessential here. It's important here that we make the distinction here. If you make the distinction and you keep away from immediate satisfaction, and you make an objective, or you take an objective look on things on the long run, you probably will take some distance from these immediate satisfaction. Probably the happiness is already closer to you than you think, because mostly it comes from the people who are dear to us or who are very close to us. Anyway, Capricorn, this is all for the for the air group for this month. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you're interested in love card readings, you can find those also on my channel. And of course, we do the extensive Lenormand card readings about love, about work, about business. You can find everything on my channel. It will take some of your time, but of course, we get a little bit wiser. Anyway, Capricorn, I want to thank you for your time. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for doing so, and bye-bye for now. Hello Capricorn, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for your philosophical financial card reading for the month of January. As the first card here, we see the card Time. This card tells us that time is not our friend, especially on the front of financial matters. Here in general, it's the opposite. If we have certain payments and we extend these payments, we know that this has consequences. So here it tells us that we need to be correct with certain payments. If you don't make correct payments, you know, in general, this comes with interests here. If you have certain issues financially, it tells us that we need to balance out our financial issues. We cannot put our hand in the sand, and we need to improve our financial situation if this would be your case. Here, this tells us, if you don't have financial issues, this tells us that we need to become more in charge of our financial situation, whatever this may be here. Don't wait until the holidays for improving your situation, but take action here. Go for it here. There's no such thing as perfect timing. We need to act now. Here, this card tells us we need to secure ourselves for the time to come. Maybe there are some things that you need to change in your life if you're not happy with your current situation. Sometimes also it's necessary we take some paper, we take a pencil, and we analyze our situation, what we want to improve on our life. We make columns of importance for us, and we check what we need to change in our life for improving, because actually here we can improve with this reading, but we need to focus on certain things. We need to take the reins back of our budget, and we need to rush towards more sustainability here before the time is running out. The next card is about charity, and charity that we give to others. Probably we spend a lot of money to people who we love, people around us. We are probably a charitable type. We give gifts to loved ones here. This is what we are saying, but actually this card tells us, and it asks you if the latest toy that you bought for your children, for your grandchildren, or for a cousin or a nephew, or whatever it is, was this really necessary? Will your children, your nephews, love you less if you don't pamper them so much? So we need to understand here that small expenses that we make, presents that we buy, that this has an impact on our daily life and of course on our budget. Well-ordered charity, it starts by itself. We know the proverb here, and it's important here that we are careful here with spending money. If your good heart and your generosity leads to problem, of course, and it leads to financial distress, it has no place in your life. So before you give to others, secure your own future. The time is important here. That's why we have the time here. Stimulate your own future rather than squandering your surpluses to your loved ones. Take care of your family, take care of yourself, remove the essential from the unnecessary, and you will be able to establish a wallet which allow you to maintain a healthy generosity over the time and over the years. The last card here is the card of our ancestors, and also from people who are less fortunate than we are. Here we see that first we're gonna go in the grandparents. If we compare our situation here, we need to be aware that mostly our grandparents made certain things possible for us, and that's why we are able to move further in our daily life. They laid certain stones so we can follow that path and we can improve ourselves here. We need to be aware that our grandparents, mostly they had one salary, they had more children. mostly one of the parents worked and the other took care of the children. So the budget there, they were very strictly budgeted here. And even when they were in their pension, they lacked some things in retirement. But sometimes probably you feel a little bit sad, or you feel a little bit off, or you feel a little bit depressed financially here. And here you think maybe, or you assume that they were probably better off because the time were better than at this moment. But here this tells us we should doubt about this situation. Here we are also in a different generation, and these people needed to be contented, as I exampled before, with what they had. They, for instance, they had no access to credit cards. If the money was spent that they earned, there was nothing anymore. There was not a penny anymore. There was no trips to look out for. There were no exotic herbs to be discovered. And the importance here was the home loans that need to be paid off. And of course, seeing that their children could go to school and that the school was paid for. It's actually the reverse situation as we know now. Also, then we need to add the current situation. A lot of people are in distress now because of these so-called viruses. The borders are closed. People who work in tourism, people who are directly connected to jobs with other people, they cannot work. A lot of people cannot even afford 3 meals a day. So this card wants us to make aware that even if you experience certain unpleasant times, sometimes you are still in a very good position to the people that have hardly food, or that have a very bad situation for now. So if you compare your situation to your grandparents, to those people who are confronted with current economical condition, there is no possible parallel here. So reflect on these things. Think about concession that certain people have to make. And if you think about it, you will see that you're not so bad off after all. Anyway, Capricorn, this is all for the Stone Group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. You can also check the monthly love card readings that we do, or if you are interested in money, business, work card reading, you can find it also on my channel. There's a lot of things that I touch in my monthly topics. Anyway, Capricorn, I want to thank you for your time, and please don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye for now, and thank you. Hello, Capricorn, and welcome to the Matches or the Fire group for your short philosophical financial card reading for the month of January. If I take a quick overview over this card, this is about the use of credit card, because all these cards tend to point to the use of credit cards. Also, it tells us that we need to learn important lessons, how to learn our credit cards, not only we ourselves, but also we need to apply these lessons on our children. But we will start with the first card. This is the card of visual reminders on bank cards. What does this tell you? Well, despite maybe of your best intentions here, sometimes we spend too much money with the credit cards. This is what we are seeing here. And here we need to reflect on the necessities, the importance of items that we buy when we are in the store here. If you are in a financial difficult situation, maybe you need to make an evaluation. Maybe you don't spend money in the right way, and you could be in a difficult financial situation here. Maybe you forget it always. And this card wants you to help you by setting up a visual reminder system on your cards, and of course observing your own habits, why and how you spend too much here. So this card is about over consuming and how we can avoid this. How can we do this? Well, there are a few things here that can help us. For instance, we can install small visual reminders on our credit card. We can put something in the corner of the credit card that makes us think twice. Maybe something that makes you a little bit afraid or makes you think twice. Whatever is personally important for you that makes you think twice, that is what you need to put in the corner of the credit card. And as you are about to pay, you will see the visual reminder there, and maybe it holds you back here. It's a simple system, but often it works here, because when you are about to pay, you will see this visual reminder and you will validate if you're shopping and what is in your cart. Of course, you need to control what is in your basket and in your cart, and you will validate if what you are about to buy or what you are shopping for is really essential and unnecessary. Also here, sometimes help can be that a lot of us buy online now because of the current situation. And of course, online buying is very popular these days. And here it tells us also that we could change our passwords in something like truly necessary, reasonable. Why? Well, as you give in these passwords, it will make you reflect, it make you think twice. And before, you will actually be forced to think twice. And before you confirm your action here, you will think. Of course, you will need to change these visual aids and these passwords periodically, because your brain will get used to those visual aids. But it wants to help you on the long run and start a process here, so you pay attention to those things here. So be creative, administer those small things, those reminders for adjusting your nefast tendencies, if you have that, for superficial spending. The next card is the card of financial education. This card applies on us. Maybe we need to learn more, maybe we need to be more careful with our money, but also it's actually applying on our children, this one. Here, this card tells us probably also where you live, the money don't fall from the trees. And here, this is about household management, how we spend money in our home for the food that we buy, for anything that we need for the housekeeping. Here, also, for giving an example here, you are in the supermarket and your children are along you. They come to you, they offer you a pair of shoes or an electronic gadget, and you say, no, we cannot now, it's not the right time. And then you get the answer of the child, and the child tells you, but why not, mom, dad? Your wallet is full of credit cards. And this is what this card is about. This card tells us that there is something there that your children don't understand about money. So here this card tells us we need to learn our children the value of money. Of course, it's utopian to think that they would get in a very good situation financially in this hyper-consuming world that we are living here, if we don't turn them into knowledgeable consumers. And of course, this is your task as a parent here. So talk to your children about money, break the taboo if you never talk about money, inform them, make them aware of healthy practices. This is what this card is about. By teaching them the workings, you give them, or you offer them, a good foundation financially, and you will help them greatly on the long run. The last card is the card about credit cards. Again, as I said, it's all about credit cards here. The last card here is this card asks us, how would you rate your use of your credit cards? Good, bad, in the middle? Well, here we see that if we have certain issues with credit cards, here again we see the same. There are two sides here on this card. There is a positive side and a negative side. I will start with the positive side. It's possible here that you don't use all the advantages of your credit cards. Meaning, if we go to certain stores with certain credit cards, we have advantages, meaning we get discounts, 10%, we get points. It's possible here with this card that you don't use all these advantages. So you should pay some interest in that, because it gives you money on the long run, especially if you always use credit cards for payment. It doesn't matter, even if it's only 5%. If you see this on a budget, it can be 50 or 100 euro a month. But if you do this over 12 months, it's already a big budget. So this is the positive side of this card. The negative side of this card is probably you overspend with the credit cards. Here, it's also about that probably these your credit cards might not be outbalanced by the end of the month. And if we don't balance them out, the budget here, we pay very high interests. Also, if we do certain purchase and we pay those high interests, don't be surprised if you pay 20, 30% if you're in a zero or if you are in a below zero balance. These credit card companies, some of them, they are not banks anymore, they are real sharks. Probably this is what this card is about. You have a credit card like that in your wallet. Mostly it's the credit card that always gives you money. But the tail of this card is that probably you pay very high interests on that. So this card tells us, try to get rid of these expensive credit cards, try to balance them out and try to get rid of them for once and for all. Just go for more traditional payments because this costs you dearly. These credit card companies who provide these cards, they are not normal businessmen anymore, they are sharks, and they are smiling because you provide them from business that they can find nowhere else. So beware that this is a difficult situation that it can bring you in. So if you have overdue accounts, balance them out, put some money in there and try to get rid of these cards here. This is what you see. Try to pay your overdue account in full and try to get rid of them here. And this is what this card is about here. Anyway, here we need to think wisely and we need to think, move forward here with the use of credit cards, but also see that you use all your privileges of and the offers that are offered by your credit cards that give you very good advantage and work into normal rates. So Capricorn, this is all for the fire group or the matches group for this month. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other three that are connected here. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. You can also check out the love card readings and the more the Lenormand card readings that are for business, money, and your work situation. You can find everything on my channel. It will take some of your time, but we always get a little bit wiser. Anyway, Capricorn, I want to thank you for your time. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you and bye-bye for now.